Hi everyone, welcome to Nihongo Portal, a channel where we talk about Japanese subcultures and I guess shit like that. I'm your host Akira.
My name Don.
I'm your host David.
And today on our first episode we will be talking about, I guess, to learn a little bit of ourselves towards that's a weird way to put it. So it's just like, so we could learn, you guys can learn about us a little bit. So what?
Let's get familiar with each
Yeah.
We're
other.
super narcissistic, so we're gonna talk about ourselves this episode.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I love about myself how I love this anime.
So we're gonna talk about our first anime and how we got into it, how we got into, like, I guess, anime and like those kind of stuff, and what is our definition of waifus.
Yes.
I think it'll be an exciting episode. Hopefully,
Yeah.
let's keep
Pretty exciting. I can tell you right now that well, we're probably not gonna be liked.
So who should we start off with?
You know what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
I'd
about
like to go.
I was about to say, since he started off the episode, he may as well have started.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, sure. If
I
you
mean,
want,
that makes sense to me.
if you have it up ready.
I mean, like, I don't have any notes or anything, but like I have a general idea. So
Sure.
for me,
As do all of us.
so before we even start, I guess we should start off by stating the fact that I am mostly Japanese. David's half Japanese. Don is like quarter Japanese.
Part, yeah, we'll just round it down to part.
And out of us, I guess I probably have the most exposure to Japanese culture. With
Yeah,
how
literally
our
growing up in Japan.
yeah,
Yep.
with how our family
You
is
live
and
there.
stuff. So with me, it wasn't really like I got into anime, but if you were to like talk about our first anime that we actually watched through that people consider, I don't know, it's a weird line, but I guess, well, one of my first one was just Katekyo Hitoma Nibon. It was I don't know, I watched mostly, I didn't finish it, but like I watched it weekly on like illegal websites back then because the internet was like, you know, wasn't as regulated as it is right now. But I have really fond memory of that because I was reading the comics too. I was watching it when I was in elementary school.
Oh yeah.
And
absolutely.
Kateko was like a great series.
yeah, it really was. I think I do enjoy the gag part a little bit more. Like the first couple of like I guess the first quote unquote season. I don't know. There wasn't a definitive season, but like for those kind of anime, I guess you could count seasons with like different openings, maybe.
Like arc? Just
Yeah,
go,
yeah, arc,
Let's say
yeah.
it's an arc.
So like the first arc was like it was a comedy arc, and I enjoyed that a lot. And it kind of went to like full blown battle anime, and I still enjoyed it, but it did really take a
Yeah.
different turn. But
I love the change.
a lot of
I
people
prefer
didn't like it
anime
actually,
Yeah. I could see why.
because I think
but at the same
back
time-
then the problem Jump had, which is like the publisher,
Mhm.
is that they would take anything, any kind of manga, and turn it into a battle manga. And it was just like, why kind of thing, you know? People wanted to do a
I mean,
genuine,
boys like battles.
I guess, yeah, but like people wanted to do a genuine comedy manga, and then they would still, you know, make it into a battle manga.
The beginning of anime with shonen, which spiked in popularity.
Yeah, it was during that era, definitely.
Yeah, we're in the same age, so
Now that
this,
we have
this would
sports
probably
manga.
tie in right into when shonen anime was like localized for the West, and we got our fucking English dubbed Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece.
4Kids dubbed One Piece. 4Kids dubbed anything.
Oh, I
You know,
never watched.
okay.
I never had access to 4Kids dub. I just had access to like Cartoon Network and Toonami,
I'm
and
gonna put this in a pin. I'll bring this up later.
I'll get to a story about Toonami later. But yeah,
Funny thing though, I think one of the first anime I watched was dubbed Digimon.
Oh.
Yeah,
Digimon,
like
Digimon.
yeah, that opening, it just stuck in my head. I wonder how many people know that song. Like, it's a pretty popular song, but and then like if we're gonna get to
banger.
like actual like, cause that was just me growing up to like shonen type anime. You know, I think a lot of people watch that. But if we're talking about like what actually caused me to like go down this like downhill spiral of a shithole, is
Wow. Offended.
Oh come
Very
on!
radical.
I'm joking, obviously, but yeah.
I don't remember when it came out, or I don't remember when I watched it, but I think I was still in elementary school. Was Baka to Testo no Shokanju.
I love that series.
Like if
you don't like Hideyoshi, you're just a prude.
Here's the thing. I honestly don't remember a lot of things about that anime, but I just remember watching it every week. And I think that was while I was watching Reborn. So it was probably in that era. And yeah, from there, what else did I watch? From there, like, it got me into more of the otaku culture, but I didn't really watch too much anime from there. Like, I read a lot of manga, and I was, like, online watching stuff on, like, Nico YouTube, and stuff. But from there, it was... What was it? I think it might have been Attack on Titan. No, it was
Wait, what?
that actually
That's way recent.
Yeah, it really. But like I only started watching actually watching a lot of things from like there. But like before that, I was obviously into like localized and stuff. But I wasn't really an avid anime watcher. So like after around I'd say the first year of high school in 2012, you know.
I was gonna say, can we add the time when we started watching anime? Because that's kind of relevant too.
Yeah, definitely. So, but for both Reborn and Bakatesu, I actually don't remember the year I was watching it. I mean, I could probably look it up, but I don't remember.
Sometime in like 2005 or something.
I moved. No, not 2005. I think. I mean, it wasn't like I was watching it real time for Reborn. Like I've caught up to it, but I didn't start watching when it started airing. So. I think I would say 2008, maybe.
Oh, okay.
2006 to 2006.
That's about
2008.
when I got into it. Yeah.
And yeah, so that was like Attack on Titan, and I think the other one I watched was what was that? The one where the Demon King is like doing Arvite, like working.
Demon is a part timer.
Yeah, that.
Oh yeah, Devil's a part timer. Yep.
Yeah.
And that kind of like got me back into watching anime. And I'm still waiting for the second season of that anime because it never came out. I'm so bummed out.
I'm waiting for the manga to like release chapters. Well, I guess the anime is good too.
How long has that manga been going if you're still waiting for it?
I think. Well, so I used to buy I used to buy manga in like tankobon, like books from Japantown. But that got expensive, so I started reading it online.
That got expensive.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
they don't serialize, like so recently I haven't checked up, so maybe they have updated it, but I'm just not into reading manga as much as I used to. I've pretty much also with anime like toned down the amount I watched. I used to binge like a series a week or something.
Yeah, if I find a series I really like, I'll binge watch it. Like I've recently finished all 72 episodes of Haikyuu within like a week.
Ooh.
So that
Wow,
that was really good, and I enjoyed it. But I was like so burned out after that. I was so like, oh man. And there's still a season coming. I think did it start airing? I'm not sure. But yeah, another season's coming down, and then the manga just recently ended too. So I'm just like, oh man, I just got into it. Now everything's just ending.
Well, at least you don't have to wait.
I guess.
Because let me bring it in. The first manga that I, by my own definition, finished from start to end was Full Metal Alchemist, and the way I got into it is weird. I was young at the time, and I was like, probably at like the end of 5th grade, so 2008. I was at the library and I found a DVD for Full Metal Alchemist, the original, and I couldn't find the first DVD. I found like volume 17 or 13 or something, and I'm like, oh hey, this guy has a cartoony afro, let's watch it. And it's there's a scene with like Yeah, the cover was like either it was like something exploded and his hair was like all curly and fuzzy.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, this must be a comedy. And I watch it, and there's a bare-bodied Tucker with his head turned upside down, and he's like turning prisoners into slush. And I was mildly traumatized, but because the DVD was heavily damaged, I couldn't see it. So I didn't know what the series was, and I didn't know what the like plot was. So I was like so confused. So I went back to the library, and I couldn't find a DVD. And right when I had given up, I went to the manga area and found Full Metal Alchemist Book 1 in English. I'm like, oh, this is the one! Finally, I found it! I read it. I love it so much that I asked my grandparents to start recording it and sending it over on VHS tapes. And that was the first time I watched anything in real time. Well, real time, 6 months delayed. And boy, did I cry when that series ended. It was like, because I had gone from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray in the time that it took to finish and complete Full Metal Alchemist. And the manga, that's like when I got into collecting manga. Because before that, I would just like, the only thing we collected was Detective Conan. And I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with that, but it just never ends.
Yeah, like I have up to 62 books, but I kind of stopped buying. Like the moment I stopped buying, I kind of regret it because I cannot catch up to it anymore. There's like over 100 books now, I think.
That's where we stopped too, like about 60, and then like a couple books in 70, because we couldn't remember how many we bought. And so till then, like buying manga books was just more like it was like a family like cult tradition thing. Oh, hey, Conan just released 2 books. Let's get those and update it. But then I was like religiously reading Full Metal Alchemist. I'm like, oh no, I've entered the feeling of the void where nothing fills it anymore. What do I read next? And then that's when I get into high school, and other people who actually watch the series start to like interact with me.
To think that like we actually didn't have like a anime common back in middle school is kind of weird, because we were pretty good friends back then too, and we just didn't
talk about manga or anime that much.
This is so weird.
But yeah, so I think Full Metal Alchemist was like that. And just to go back, like Akira, I also like grew up watching Japanese anime. Like my first would be like Tottoko Hamataro.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
or
obviously those
Totoro.
stuff, but
yeah. So, but I'm not counting those because it's kind of hard to say like I watched those. Those were like, that was the media I consumed. You don't call
yeah, it was just on TV. You weren't like going up to TV and like, I was like, oh my god, it's Hamtaro's on, ah! You know.
You don't say Elmo was your first sitcom. It's the same thing like.
Okay.
Just imagine fucking Elmo sitting down there like spewing out offensive jokes and shit.
Why is in your mind sitcoms equals offensive jokes?
I agree. Though. I mean, like,
I agree though.
My favorite sitcom, the one where Elmo gets shot because Kermit pulled out a gun and said, "You get what you fucking deserve."
Oscar be like,
oh my god, that's an image.
That's a weird image.
Yeah, no, my fucking introduction to anime is like, it's weird. Like, being the ignorant child that I was when I was growing up, like I didn't even know there was such things as races.
No.
So it's like Asian, white American, African American. Like you don't even think about it. You just look at people and they speak, and then you talk to them, they talk back, and that's just how the world works, right? So
I mean, as like a 5-year-old or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like in first grade around. So that's like 2002, somewhere.
Yeah, I'd say 2002, 2003.
Yeah,
somewhere there.
Like, so anytime I would be just watching TV, it would just be, the regular basic shit that you would expect kids to watch, like fucking Cartoon Network, Ed, Edd n Eddy, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and whatnot. For me, because like we were with Comcast for so long, I remember that the Cartoon Network channel has always been channel 54, and Nickelodeon was channel 53. So it's just like, as a kid, that's the easiest shit to remember. You just swap between those two channels and watch whatever's on, right? But then in comes 9 p.m. at night, and then you get to the Toonami, Toonami section of channel 54, where they actually started showing English dubbed animes. So, let's see. I don't think they showed. If they showed One Piece, it would have been on Toonami. But no, my first introduction to anime was fucking the English dubbed version of Bobobo Bobobo.
Oh my god.
Oh, you hit
So,
the classics
and let me
first.
tell you, when you're a kid who watches Western cartoons and then you see that shit, you get real fucking confused, and you think, "Wow,
No,
what a
here's
what a
the thing.
drastic what a." And because mind you, again, I didn't know what cultures were, much as races. So it's just like, oh, this is a really weird Western cartoon.
Even to a native Japanese person, that thing
Yeah.
is like a fucking mess. I don't understand half the thing that's going on, okay?
Yeah,
I got exposed to Bobobo as like a middle schooler, and I can't tell you what that show was about. So
like, oh my god, even my like, oh god, I think I remember the episode I first watched too, although it's probably super shoddy because then again, this is fucking 15 years ago. But I just remember the fucking character that's like an orange sun.
Yep.
yeah,
He was like
Paching or
gender bent for one episode, and I was so confused.
I see you've seen the culture.
Mommy,
Yeah,
why am I being
and then you
hard?
have, I would assume the main character's name is Bobobo or some shit.
It's
And
hard
then
to
in
tell
that
'cause
same
the girl is
episode, I guess
supposedly
he
the main
couldn't fight with
character.
his nose hairs because the guy living in his nose just decided to close his nostrils like a fucking garage, and I'm like, what?
Okay, so to explain, Bobobo is in a genre called gag manga, and in gag manga, the jokes and the punchline don't have to be like they don't have to make sense. There's basically no canon, so it gets really hard to tell what's like a story in gag manga. But yeah,
I think
I
Bobobo
can't
is in a
think of a
different
better
league though.
story.
I don't. It's comedy, but it's not representation of a comedy.
it's meme culture. It's
Bobobo is like one of those shows that you could describe as really fucking weird, but in a good way.
yeah.
It's a show that you
Dude.
might not want to watch on acid or something.
No. I think you should. The only way to watch it is high on some kind of drug. If you don't, you're gonna feel confused.
But yeah, after I first watched that, my child brain was just confused and in shards, trying to figure out what I was looking at. And then it wasn't long after that they began. Oh yeah, of course on Toonami they aired Dragon Ball Z because people actually die, kind of.
Right.
But
Violence.
but for some reason in Cartoon Network, yeah, no, they were completely okay with airing English dubbed Naruto. And this is like the first few chapters of the manga where shit was actually kind of brutal. Like you look at
PG-13
old
with a very-
school Naruto and you're like, oh wow, this is all very cool. But then you also realize you just watched a fucking kid get his arm and leg crushed by a sand tomb.
Right.
It's just like, oh wow, that's actually kind of brutal. But
Yeah.
they showed it on Cartoon Network, so I mean, I guess they didn't care.
PG-13. If you blur out the blood, it doesn't look like it.
It just looks like
know.
a bad hentai.
And then in the same, what was it? I think it was the Genin exams. It's wasn't that the one where Shino, like the guy he was up against, he could fire like compressed air from his tubes in his arms, and then Shino just plugged it up with insects, which it's a pretty disturbing image. But when you
Both sides, yeah.
but when you plug up something like a cannon with like a giant cork and you still set the cannon off, you can imagine how that works out, but for a guy's arms. So
Watching that as a kid.
that was as a kid, you probably wouldn't understand it, but like, add another like 3 years on you, and you're like, holy shit, that's actually kind of fucked.
You just contextualized how old Naruto is for me, because
Yep.
when I first read Naruto, I was in Japan and my uncle had collected it, and I read it from like volume 1 to volume 20, and then I went back to the States and started collecting it. But like, man, Naruto is old.
Oh
It
yeah,
really
no,
is,
for
like-
sure.
And
so-
also what's surprising for me at least is like I guess the normal if you we're gonna use that quote the anime terminology.
Pre-Shippuden and
Yeah.
post-Shippuden.
Pre-Shippuden part's actually really short. I thought it was
Yeah.
way longer than that because there was so many. Like I watched some of the animes, but I watched the movies mainly. Like I think I watched most of the movies out there. So
Opposite of me.
I thought it was a lot longer, and then like I was like, I think 2 years ago I was like, I haven't really grasped the whole concept of or at least the whole story of Naruto. I bought the whole book set, and I was like, wait, that's it? Like it's like there's 72 books, but there's actually not that much arcs. Like I've missed
Yeah.
out maybe like 3 or 4 arcs, and that's it.
It's because the arcs
Well, yeah,
go on
the
forever.
last arc takes like maybe 30, or I don't know. I'm just exaggerating, but
Wait, are we
Yeah.
talking
So-
about like pre-Shippuden?
no, the after Shippuden,
Just
like
in
the
general.
final, the final arc itself, the final battle.
Oh yeah.
It's probably like it's been going on for like 4 years, I'd say, or
My
went on for like 4
earliest-
years.
My earliest experience with like anime recordings, it would be so like whatever I wanted to watch, and then Naruto's like would be like in the back of it, but it was always filler episodes, and it was always like when I wouldn't see the filler episodes, it was always the first Zabsa arc, and on
Yep.
repeat. I didn't know Naruto had like a Genin arc until I read the manga, because all I saw was the repeated first fight for like 5 years.
It also just goes to remind you like this is like the first thing Team 7 did, and they decide to get Kakashi and take 3 children against a known ninja killer. So like, wait,
Yeah.
what the fuck did you do?
The difficulty is just like, what do you expect from these kids?
It's like, okay, you get these 3 kids to beat a known assassin, and then and then you pair them against other kids their age to kill them. It's like, all right, cool.
What's the difficulty?
Then again, when you think about it, it's just like
Kakashi.
the world of Naruto is kind of fucked. You're training children to be assassins.
Yeah.
That's what ninjas are,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even then, like, Naruto ninjas are barely ninja at all. But we're not gonna go into that detail.
Yeah. Oh man.
Can I just say though, I said Full Metal Alchemist was my first series, but that reminds me of my dubbed watching. I grew up on the English dub of Shaman King,
Oh,
and to
man,
this
that's-
day, yeah, Shaman King is one of my like core anime. Like,
I actually like know of it. I'm pretty sure I watched it before, but I have no clue what the actual series is about. I mean, like
It's-
from the
it's
name, I
shamans.
think it's like I could tell what it is, but like
yeah. I highly recommend it. It's still ongoing with like Shaman King Flowers, which it takes the main character's kid. Spoilers, he has a kid.
wow.
If shonen anime didn't have that, like Dragon Ball would be way shorter. Anyway, but yeah, so 4Kids dub, even though I'm an elitist now and I don't like watch
Elitist?
English dub, I grew up on it, and
I mean,
I-
what's
I
the point
think
of
it's-
watching an English dub if you do understand Japanese though?
it wasn't available.
I mean, like
Yeah.
now, I'm talking about now. Like
Well,
you
oh,
wouldn't,
yeah,
you said
that's
you
true.
wouldn't watch
Yeah.
it now, so
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah. I mean, if the language like Black Lagoon objectively probably sounds better in English because the characters speak English.
But it's
Then
also
again,
because of just how foul-mouthed Revy
Yeah,
is as a
Revy.
character. It just translates so much more in English than in Japanese.
I haven't watched
Yeah.
Black Lagoon, but I think action anime just doesn't work as well because there's a lot of shouting and like it's really hard to translate the quote unquote, I guess the kiai part of like shouting in Japanese to like English shouting and like
The thing
saying
is,
words.
Revy like says things like "you cocksucker" or you. she says like some really bad shit, but what her English voice actress, even though she did like amazing, I think the English cussing part pulls you out of the story. It just sounds forced. So sometimes I see where English is better. Sometimes I see it. Other times, like with oh boy, I don't wanna start say something controversial, but like,
well, too bad.
My Hero
You're going
Academia.
have to.
Yeah, I don't see myself ever, even though I hear a lot of people enjoying it in English, I just prefer Japanese.
That's fair.
Yeah. Oh, Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah,
hear-
I need to watch that series. Like I've watched a part of it. I've been meaning to watch the whole series. It's like
I'll be
Really,
honest.
the dub is higher quality.
amount of the small amount I've watched. Enjoyed it so much.
Mm.
Oh man,
Donovan. Ghost Stories English dub.
Oh no! Oh my god.
was it the really terrible one?
Yeah.
Oh god.
So the original was so boring and unpopular in Japan that when they serialized it or like localized it to English, the script was basically non-existent. So the dub actors are basically like, we can just go
You
whatever
can
we
tell
want
the
on this.
directors just showed them the clips of the anime and said, "All right, do whatever the fuck you want."
All right, we're gonna show you this clip of things happening and make a coherent story out of it.
Exactly. So a lot of the cultural nuance, like nopperabo and yokai stuff, is missing. But like, what are you gonna do? There's this like faceless policeman. What are you gonna make him say? Donut joke. Just make it. Go on and make the main characters like racially like, make the main boy Jewish and like.
Yeah, that's right.
the elementary school kid's extremely perverse. Just do it.
And a cat that speaks English and thinks, "Oh wait, that's right."
Yeah, just
A cat
cusses
that
out the
speaks
kids.
English and who calls the fucking little brother a retard.
It is South Park humor.
Speaking of which, the little brother, he doesn't actually speak English. He kind of, it's like if you
Moans.
if you took a sentence in English and then distorted it to the point where you can only recognize it as gibberish and mumbling.
Oh my god.
That specifically is a timeless classic. I recommend it people who haven't watched it to watch it, and people who have watched it to rewatch it, because it's just funny. It's just objectively good humor.
If you want to
not
anime
crass
South
humor.
Park, that's pretty much what you're gonna get.
And so with creative freedom, you can make even the shittiest anime good. But if it's a good anime, don't fuck with it, please.
I mean, looking at the actual synopsis of Ghost Stories, it really is just Japanese anime Scooby Doo.
学校の怪談 stories. The school has a ghost in it. Oh no.
Psych!
For
It was
12
her uncle.
episodes.
Oh yeah, that's
That actually
what's that
happens.
one? God, hold on.
Like I haven't
No,
watched
that-
any clip. Like I've watched maybe like a minute worth of
No
clips.
uncle, but I just imagine a creepy uncle like showing up, and that would make it more hilarious.
That will make
I'd
it.
watch
That's just bad.
That's right, yeah, because this was the English dub. In that one episode where there was a haunted piano, they made it play Beethoven's For Elise.
Oh.
Oh god.
I don't remember which one was that. The piano episode. Oh wait, is
The
that
haunted piano that if like the girl listened
Right.
to the full piece of Für Elise, like what was it, 3
Right.
or 5 times, like she would die on the last time.
Right,
Yeah.
because the student who played it died before they could do it in a recital or something.
Something
Something
like that.
boring.
I don't remember. It was really dumb.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've like reached the end. What about we talk about our waifus?
What's your definition? Like, okay, before we start off with who, or do we want to? Is it a who? Do we want to start with the who or the definition then? Do we each
Now let's define waifu.
Let's try defining it.
defining
yeah.
it? So, okay, what is yours then, Donovan?
You would already know, but I'd have to say it's Okita from
I mean, like,
Fate.
okay, so I guess we're
No,
going
no,
to
no,
then?
definition. Like,
Oh, definition.
what is a
Oh,
waifu?
Yeah.
someone that I want to care for and protect, and maybe die for. Depends on the circumstance.
Depending on the
I see.
circumstance, you would die for your waifu.
Yep.
Most of these waifus probably gonna be way stronger than us.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they don't need our protection
Isn't that
most of-
usually the point?
Well,
You
Good for you,
yes.
like
You
like
protect
any
someone
sort
that's
of
stronger.
like any sort of fictional character, like you
And any
you
kind
look
of like
for the most optimal version of who you, optimal iteration of what you like. There we go.
how about you, Akira?
That's like, as much as I'm the one that came up with this question, like it's kind of hard for me to like actually define someone, because
So you're not sure what a waifu is.
well,
but
I
you
mean,
have a
so
waifu.
okay, so my definition, I guess, would be, what do you call it? Like in Japanese, they have this terminology called oshi.
Oh, your recommendation or like your
Uh, This is who I will like push for.
the best character.
Yeah.
You're basically
In this series, this is who I like say in the same series as Donovan, like Fate Grand Order. It would definitely I think it's either Mordred or John Alter. You know, they're both
no
up
idea
there,
what Fate
but
is, so I won't.
you know,
Yeah.
as it's not someone that I would marry or like I want to be like, you know, in like that kind of relationship, but it's more of a I see them in this particular game, and I'm willing to put money into it. If there's like a, you know, a poster or something that looks really cool that has them on it, I'll put money into it, even though I don't, because I'm not the type of person to do that. Like I have like
Yeah, but meanwhile,
barely any anime goods in my room. I have like some mangas and some Figma figures, but that's pretty much it.
oh god, yeah, that you reminded me of like a bunch of scale figures that recently came out, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, a bunch of Mortar figure came out this year. I was like, why do you do this to me? Because I'm in the middle of collecting another really expensive line of figures. I was like,
Figure collection in general is just a hobby that just eats wallets.
oh fuck yeah, it does. Like, you be lucky. Like the fucking, because Japanese and their premium Bandai, and oh my god, it's so expensive.
Or
but
maybe
they look so
maybe
good.
I should redefine or the rephrase and think of a waifu as something like a hobby that you're willing to put money into,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
put
So it's kinda
time
like,
time and
fantasy.
resources into, even if it doesn't surmount to anything.
yeah, it's kind of like, you know, having
Oh,
an
shit.
idol. Like if you go after like a group of idol and you're like, I like this person a lot. That's for me is like, I guess, the terminology waifu for anime stuff. So like I would have a waifu for a lot of different, you know, I don't have one. I might have one that I like more, maybe, but for like each what do you call it? Fuck. I can't think of the word. I guess each anime I would have
Series.
yeah. I would have a different waifu. Like at least
Nice.
the one I like. For Evangelion I have
So it's
one.
like a ranking.
I mean, if you put it that way, then a waifu just surmounts to female characters that you like.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess, and so it's not
Well-
something like I like this person and I'm gonna put so much money into this person. It's more like, oh yeah, in this series I like her, this series I like her, this series I like her, and usually they end up looking similar, but not really for me, which is saying a lot about my personality probably.
So back when I had an unhealthy relationship with anime, I started off with like that definition of like romantic feelings about a fictional character, but slowly, gradiently like moved into a character that I like to just generally like characters that stand out among series. So like I don't usually make waifus in series that I don't care about. Like ReZero, I didn't
even watch that.
Watch that, so I can't say that. But like
But
this is
here's the
did
thing.
not watch
okay.
ReZero Gang.
No, I mean, like, I have nothing against it. I just haven't watched it. But okay, let me like
Same.
put actual, not really a disclaimer, but like say I really like Fairy Tail because it's like your generic action, and that's just probably the one I picked up as a generic action manga that I just kept on reading. I don't have a waifu in that. I just kind of like the series as it is.
Right.
I don't really have
Same
a
like
waifu
that.
for every single series I watch. World Trigger, I don't have a waifu. Blue Exorcist,
yeah.
I don't have a waifu. Full Metal Alchemist, I don't have one.
Blue Exorcist, Rin is best waifu.
Fuck yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no,
obviously.
that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
the waifus, waifu, or at least I think of it with that with what your example. It's just like waifu doesn't have to be a character that you like, you at minimum like.
Because
Right.
I mean, there has to
So-
be a specific characteristic that I would like that fits my definition of a waifu to begin with. So if a series
guess-
doesn't have one,
yeah.
it wouldn't fit my definition. So I would have a font like a character that I like, but like I wouldn't like have put money into that character per se.
Right.
Mhm.
Like say, I don't know, but for me, the characteristic for waifu does change a lot. Say like for Evangelion, I like Amari a lot, but for Attack on Titan, I really like Annie. It's like they're
Oh yeah,
Personality.
they're in a
Okay.
completely
Totally
different
different.
end of the spectrum. You know,
Right. By the way, going back to my unhealthy childhood, I think my first waifu like was what's that? I forgot her English name from, but it's the Pokemon companion from like the 3rd gen.
it's,
Dawn?
Dawn, yeah, Dawn.
Donovan?
I think
No. Fuck up.
that or like the 2nd gen maybe, because I think I started watching when Pokemon was like
Oh my god, yeah,
Just
that's right. I
ending
forgot
2nd gen.
Pokemon aired on Cartoon Network because
Oh,
it
wow.
was because it was completely okay for them to show that.
yeah.
Because
So-
Pokemon don't die even though you throw them in like 2,000 Celsius fires.
Apparently,
They
yeah.
just faint.
Yeah. Which, I mean, growing up, I have zero regrets about Pokemon. Like, Pokemon was a great, even
It's
though
a great series and a great game
Yeah.
though. Like I
I
kind
don't
of stopped
play it
playing
now,
it, but
but-
yeah. When
You-
I
I would
can still
I
love
said it was a good I'd say it's a good series, but I can't really say I personally can't say it's a great game because my only exposure to Pokemon games is freaking Pokemon
oh my
Rangers.
god,
See,
And you can
the-
imagine how kind
the
of
second
garbage
game?
that is for telling you what Pokemon is actually about.
yes, I agree with that, but I just watched a video by, I think, was it Jaden Animations? Jaden Animations, and
Oh,
my point was
Jaden,
so
yeah.
validated. The 2nd Ranger game is so fucking good. I just was such a spoiled kid that I thought I fucked up. When I played it, I got it when I was in Japan, and I had the option to buy either Diamond or Pearl or the Ranger game. And my dumbass thought, I want to play the Ranger game. And then the week after, we went to go see the movie, Giratina or whatever, which they gave as a campaign,
oh yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
free DS,
So,
Shermie.
What Japanese movie theater does with Pokemon is that every single new movie they come out, you could bring your DS there, or
Wi-Fi connect to it,
connect to
and
it,
then
and you get
a
the
free
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
So a lot of Japanese
Oh,
people
yeah.
had
Oh,
like
yeah.
special Pokemon.
I didn't even know that though. So I fucked up hard. I was like depressed for a month. Like, if only I had a Shermie. If only I had a Shermie. But then I moved back a year or two, and then I'm like, oh, I never finished the Ranger game. Let's see what it's about. And boy, was it good.
Like yeah,
It
as a
just
game, I'm pretty sure it's
has
good. I
a-
just never got into it too. I have the game.
Yeah, the story is fun. The characters are like quirky and personal. Like it's like a kids game, but they don't make it dumbed down for kids. There's like fun. And if you hate the Ranger series, play the 2nd game or not, whatever. Just it's good. In the same vein, Pokemon Dungeons.
I don't think I've ever actually heard or seen gameplay of that.
Pokemon Dungeons like your typical Japanese dungeon type style game.
Yeah.
Just in Pokemon.
Like
Dungeon crawler.
like an RPG type of thing.
How would I say it? It's like there's a couple of games that comes into my mind, but I don't think you know about it because it's like a
Yeah.
solely Japanese game.
Yeah, no, when it
It's like a
Of-
randomly generated map.
Yeah.
And then you go around it and fight enemies with buttons.
Yeah,
use
yeah.
your attacks.
Of the Nintendo series that have been released that have gone super popular, I can tell you that Pokemon is definitely not one that I'm super familiar with.
And that's fine. It's but for my childhood, just thinking of that game brings me back motion sickness of all the times I was on cars while playing it.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Man, I used to have so much motion sickness, and I still bring like fucking PSPs and DS onto the car when I was like driving somewhere. And I was just get sick. I was like, "Mom, I need to barf." She's like, what is wrong with you?
I didn't have motion sickness, but I got it from that game because I would spend like 4 consecutive hours on like a highway or
hated
something.
riding a car.
Oh man.
God, that reminds me of how much I used to play on my DS, and I'm just thinking of the games that I played.
I feel so
when
bad
I got
about
one of those
Nintendogs.
R4s so that you
Oh, yeah.
so that you could just download and play a bunch of Nintendo
Yeah.
games.
My friend was
good
like,
time.
"This is a Pokemon, or this is a Nintendo hack device. It's illegal in these countries." I'm like, "Whoa, really?" No.
Well, technically
Aside
speaking,
from,
it is
like-
illegal because it is pirated.
Aside from like
Mm.
Mario Kart, I think the first Nintendo game I got invested into was Fire Emblem.
I've
Shadow
never played
Dragons, actually.
Fire
The-
Emblem series.
Yeah.
You are high class. Like with Bobobo and Fire Emblems, everything is like core otaku shit. It's just your like earlier exposure.
Extremely, it's like I got into the quote cultured part of Japanese otaku culture, but completely on accident because I thought all this shit was Western cartoons.
Oh, this Cartoon Network series is so quirky and weird. Meanwhile, it's like
Because it's just like I
Manga
couldn't
Beauty.
distinguish the difference between the Western art style cartoon and anime. It's just like even though
fair.
you can anyone with a functioning brain can look at the two and say, oh yes, there's
Hold
something
on.
definitely different between the two. Everything just looked the same to me.
it's different, but like Ed, Ed and Eddie versus like Manga Beauty. How are you supposed to know as a kid that the
It's just like-
comedy
You
is like
you
different?
for me, you look at you watch like fucking 3 seasons of SpongeBob and then you see Naruto and then you're just like, oh, this is just SpongeBob but ninja children kill each other.
Yeah, this is why I didn't understand why like Avatar was so polarizing. Cause like I remember in middle school, the few otaku people that I did talk to, like, they would get up in arms over Avatar.
I've actually never
And I was
watched
just
Avatar.
like, same.
Same, yeah.
None. Interesting. Interesting.
Well, yeah, if Emmy Richu's videos are anything to go by, like not watching Avatar is like a fucking sin against a
Apparently,
crime
yeah.
against humanity.
I just didn't care about the story. It's like fire, earth, wind, and water. Cool.
I'm just like not so invested in like super long running shows, I guess. So like, I guess it's just for now. Like, first of all, it didn't air on my TV because we didn't have cable. But like,
Same.
I just didn't care about super long running TV shows. Like I watched part of the Clone Wars and I always want to finish it, but I just cannot get myself to watch it because it's way too much episodes,
But going back to like the
Thank
definition
God
of anime,
Clone Wars
though,
only has 7 seasons.
That's still like
accurate.
90 episodes, I think.
Let's see. I don't
If-
even
I
know
mean,
why
that
I'm
was
saying
like-
this. I have a subscription to Disney Plus, and I've already watched season 7, and then I went back to rewatch the episodes that I missed.
Yeah.
So it's just like, let's see.
But going back to like defining anime though,
Defining anime.
like, well, like,
Waifu.
Avatar is not a
Oh.
anime because it's made by Western people. Oh, but it's so into the anime culture. It pulls from Asian culture. I don't care. In first place, anime doesn't mean like
Okay, so
Japanese specific. It just in Japanese. it
anime
means
does not
moving
mean
pictures.
Japanese specific animation, but the term anime
Is
is
used for
to
Japan
describe
Japanese.
specific.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
like,
right.
I feel like if
each
you wanna
season of
include
Clone
it's
Wars
fine.
up to 5 is like about 22 episodes.
Oh, okay, so it was a lot longer then. So that's already
Yeah,
100.
so you've got at least 100 episodes. Season 5 is 20 episodes. Season 6 is 13 episodes, and season 7 is 12.
Okay.
And easily the best season.
Oh, my dad's been watching Clone Wars apparently.
Oh. My dad thinks animes are for kids, and he makes me mad every time I try to make him go watch a good animated movie. Like Kubo and the Two Strings. He's like, oh, that looks like something David would like. and he was right. But the whole time he was like watching it like he was taking his 5-year-old, and it pissed me off.
Fun. Yeah, I've actually never like my parents know anime, but what anime is, but for obvious reasons. But I've never actually shown them, so they have like only basic knowledge that it's just Japanese cartoons. But like, man, watching the 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, I'm just thinking to myself, oh my god, I wonder what they would think if I showed them to this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, see, the problem with that is that it's not even just like a non-Japanese specific thing, because my parents doesn't want me to like buy Tokyo Ghoul the series, because I've already bought the first all of it, and they were like, this is too much. I was like, why? How is it too much? So like I'm just kind of like they're not allowing me to buy it right now, so that's one thing I'm like kind of excited to buy later down the line, because I really want to read that. I mean, I think now they wouldn't mind. It's just back then they kind of minded.
Was it like just like
It's
the
a
volume, just how much?
The gore.
Mm,
Because I mean, I bought the normal Tokyo Ghoul when it was $14 a book, all 12 or 14 of it. So that already, that's
yeah.
a lot of money. So I don't think it was a money part.
What with this much explicit
So
violence?
it's not
Oh
that they
my
cared about,
God.
because I could go to like use the bookstore in Japan and buy like the whole pack for like maybe half the price, less than that.
Oh, when I was last in Japan, I went to the bookstore and I filled my arms with manga that I couldn't get used because there's just we don't have a used selection in the United States, and even if I could buy some of these used, I found them right there, and I had like the impulse buy, and my mom just like slaps me in the head. It's like, put it back, and I'm like,
oh my god.
Yeah, no. Like the problem with me, the problem with if you're ever kind of planning to move back to Japan or something, the book, it's so heavy. That's gotta be the majority of the reason why you're paying for shipping, dude.
I spent the earlier part of like this quarantine, just giving up. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna read Soul Eater. I finished the story. I'm gonna just
I need to buy Soul Eater.
give it away. And so I tried to give it to one of my friends who reads Japanese, but he doesn't care about the series. They're all, for him, he doesn't read the same stuff I do. And I'm like, okay, Donovan, do you want these manga? It's like, no. So I don't want to do this, but like I need to find a way to get rid of this manga that doesn't hurt my soul. Because like public library, as much as I used it to get into the hobby, I feel like my collection, I wanted to put it somewhere personal.
Just put it in Craigslist and just like write it in Japanese, so only Japanese people will see it.
See, the thing about that is I have to sell each manga separately, or
No, I mean just put it. Yeah, just put it as a
and
bundle.
I can't bundle it because
Why?
they're all random. This
Oh.
this one pervy manga that I bought on impulse, and then this other like super.
I mean, like here.
philosophical one
I
that was
don't think
boring as
we should
shit.
be talking about this on the podcast itself. But what you should do is, if you have a whole series that you don't want, put that up for sale as a whole series. But if you have a bunch,
I kept all the whole series.
okay.
and
But
I'm
if you have
trying to
just a
do
bunch of
minor
like
stuff.
random ones, and just put it in a box and be like, a lot of mangas, whoever wants it,
Yeah.
and then make it super cheap, just
Yeah.
like cover the shipping cost, and I will give it to you.
Yeah, basically.
Once
I think that should be
I'll
it.
consider it. But you know what? I'm starting to warm up to the library idea. Once quarantine's over, just some kid out there who's like thirsted for like manga will find my one pervy manga, hide it from his parents, and check it
that
out.
one manga that has that one page that's stuck to each other.
I treat my books with better respect.
r/cursed comments.
Is it? Well, so in that vein though, like how your parents don't want you to getting something so gory, I guess I'm kind of lucky that my mom couldn't give less of a shit about what I consume. Like
Same.
Like when I was under 18, she was like, "Don't buy anything over 18 because that's wrong." But like gore, violence, extremely like political or like explicit of shit. My mom just let me consume it.
Shit.
And,
I mean, at this point, it's my money, so they probably don't care. But
what are they gonna do? Take it away from you?
sit on you.
Oh no.
Ground you? You're not allowed to leave your room for a week.
Not that I was planning to leave my room for a week, but sure.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh, should we go back to waifu for a second?
Oh yeah, what was
Yeah,
the topic?
big ass
Anything else to
detour. But
None
yeah.
of us caught that. So
I mean, I feel like the waifu story just fizzled out.
Yeah,
But,
I think
yeah.
we ended up like we didn't like. David didn't get to talk about it too much, but
you right. All right,
right.
David. What is your definition of waifu?
Right, so characters that I just females that are good in the series or I like. Now I've more or less stopped attaching myself romantically to characters that I like, but I have a few. So, Asuka from Evangelion. Has
Ew.
always been like, look.
You
When-
little shit.
Now I more or less like see Evangelion as kids. Like all of them are teenagers rather than like elders. So I don't have like the romantic interest in them.
Yeah, they're technically
more like
14 years
pity.
old, so yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh man, Asuka, you think you're mature, but you're actually more childish than anyone else. But
What was that moaning?
no, just sigh, just like these kids. Damn kids.
Stop! It's not. It does not
Yeah.
sound right.
What do you mean? I'm
Just
I'm
stop.
furrowing my brows. Anyway,
And this is how you get demonetized.
it doesn't sound like that.
It sounds pretty
I'm
bad.
concerned. It's legit concern.
I mean, yeah, I know what you're trying to say, but the way
Yeah.
you're saying it does not make it any better.
Okay, we'll cut that out. Anyway, Asuka from Evangelion. Misaka Mikoto from Toaru, Majutsu no Index or Railgun, whichever.
I'm sensing a theme here.
What was I thinking about earlier? It was in my head, but it fell out. Let's just think of some series that I like. Shit. Most of my waifu like pushing days were middle school to high school.
Yeah,
Like before that.
I watch an unhealthy amount of like love comedy, so like all love comedies follows the same trope with the main characters and like the side characters
Right.
and the second chick and third chick. So mine
Yeah.
for that was always the fucking quiet blue-haired one. So I'm actually kind of surprised I don't like Ayanami that much. I mean, I don't mind her as a character, but as in like within Evangelion,
She's kind
it's
of
Mari.
boring. Yeah.
But she does fit in the trope that I like more within those
Ostoyaka.
series. So
The Nadeshiko. Yeah.
it was always that kind of character. And you realize if you find that kind of person in real life, I'm not gonna go any further.
I think we should specify that our taste in anime waifu has nothing to do with real life, and that most
You'd be
likely-
surprised how many people are like,
Really?
I mean,
just
yeah, okay, you can
because they
say
have
for
never.
us it doesn't reflect it, but
Yeah.
like for a lot of people, the characters they like would reflect the person they would want to date.
or
Right.
think that there are people that act like that in real life.
Yeah.
Because Asuka is kind of a shithead.
Yeah, I fucking hate. I would hate dealing with that person
Yeah.
so much.
Shimada from Baga the Test. That's what I was thinking of.
I don't
But
remember anything
also-
about that anime, even though it was one of the first one. Especially because it was the first
Yeah.
one I watched. I just don't remember a lot of things about it.
Big dummy, boy that looks very cute, and
I mean, I remember
Girls-
that person had a twin, but
yeah. Who, boy, Baga the Test is like my. It was the first otaku series that I got into. Like, before that, it was like shonen stuff or, Evangelion. I guess you could say that. But when I found Baga the Test, it's like, oh, anime eyes, oh, romantic comedy. And
How
then
the fuck is my pen 100?
I don't know why Baga the Test is so important to me. What other series? Let me just open my cupboard of things that I like.
What the oh.
I can't even see them. Ah, well. Yeah. I think that's about it, though.
I have to say, one thing that does go over to people I like in real life and anime is glasses.
You have a glasses fetish?
Yeah, I
Oh
do.
hell yeah.
I don't get it, but I guess that's not something to explain. That's just like
I
a thing
mean,
to have.
I'd say glasses make certain characters look cute. That I don't fetishize them or anything.
Yeah,
Well,
I
mean,
can agree with that.
It's not a weird fetish. It's just that I kind of like it. You know.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I guess it's a. Even in real life, you would have a type of person you like a.
But bad eyesight isn't in that. It's just more like...
if anything, like, I'm not gonna say it.
If more girls wore like glasses just for the sake of the frame,
I mean,
and not actually for their eyesight,
The
that'd
thing
be
is,
fun.
more.
I mean-
you'd be surprised how many people actually have bad eyesight and they're just wearing contact though.
Yeah.
Because like I have perfectly good eyesight, and I'm like actually blown away with how many people is wearing contact lenses.
I have bad eyesight, but I just don't wear glasses because I'm lazy.
Like I'm like really glad I don't have bad eyesight, but it's like, oh my god, the amount of money you have to spend to be able to see, just to be able to see. I feel bad for people with glasses, not in like a pity way. It's like,
Do we want to make this call for healthcare?
no?
Eyesight care?
Yes. Nah, take it from me, like, I didn't realize how awful I was treating my eyes when I was a kid, which is why I wear them now. But now it's just like, maybe that wasn't such a bad thing, because for me, I think wearing glasses looks much better than me without glasses, because holy shit.
I wonder if that has to do with just being so used to someone with glasses, or if it's just like your face is so ugly, just cover it with the glasses thing. You know,
Mean.
It's like, sprinkles on the pile of shit. That's
it's
what
like
wearing
that tissue
glasses
paper
is
on
for
top of
some
this pile
people.
of shit.
It's like the Gintama Shimura Shinpachi's like is he the glasses or is the glasses him? They're
don't know,
both
like-
the same.
Yeah, it's just like, are you so used to someone wearing glasses that it just looks weird without it?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because like,
You want to see a photo of me wearing glasses just in the chat?
Not really.
No, but just to prove that theory of like do people who wear glasses look different?
I mean, like, people that doesn't wear glasses wearing glasses is not as weird as people that wears glasses not wearing glasses.
Yeah. I mean, that just comes down to you getting used to the look of the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, seeing them in a different light makes them look out of place.
Can I share this?
I guess
When I
also your
first-
eye size changes if your eyesight is that bad.
That too.
Yeah.
Like, your face does change
When-
a little bit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's 10. Oh my god.
We have some ideas for the
Already.
next episode. So yeah, well, I guess that'll be for this episode, our first
wrap.
a wrap for this first episode. If you actually listen through it, thank you very much. We appreciate that. We'll probably be trying to do it weekly. If it goes on, might try to even up it. Maybe, I don't know. There's still things we're trying to figure out as we go.
We're getting through some kinks.
Yes.
If you have any ideas or questions, like what's this subculture about, or
Yeah, because
why do they
we
do
as
this in
much as we
anime?
talked about anime stuff a lot on the first episode, because I think that was just the easiest to get into, we're definitely willing to like talk about more of a Japanese culture stuff.
Yeah, like geisha or
Yeah.
other things.
Stuff that preferably we have more idea on, because I have no clue with geisha, to be fair, but
Well, we'll research. We'll
Yeah.
do research.
definitely. But like more I think I could specialize in more like normal daily stuff.
Well, like why? Where did kendama come from? Or like games? Do they play Beigoma in Japan?
That's not daily at all. But yeah, I mean, we could still do that
Stuff
kind of
like that.
topic.
Explain the age of consent in Japan.
Let's not.
Oh, hold up.
All right. Well, I guess
Yeah.
see you guys in the next episode, and just
Where we
comment down
talk
below
about
any kind
drums.
of like questions you have about Japan. And well, yeah, see you guys. Thank you for
See ya.
listening.
Yeet.